Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all the person in the online. And myself, Karthikeyan, I am pursuing doctoral program in Department of Environmental Sciences, Tamil Nadu State University, Coimbatore. Uh, and I'm going to present my research topic on wetway floating wetlands for wastewater treatment. And as of all, everybody knows that the rise of pollution, which is the process in which the contaminants and are either absorbed onto the roots or are absorbed by the roots. Thus, the entry of heavy metals into the root system, which are prevented. As everybody knows, vetiver, which is an phytoremediated plant, which is an perennial grass, which is native to India. It's an hardy and invasive with the floating wetland system. The vetiver grasses which are grown or rose in under which are customized designs, contours, with which the foliage rises above the water, or with the foliage high density system which are submerged. Vetiver plants, which is one of the highest potential nutrient and phosphate uptakes are very well known. Vetiver grass, which shows hydroponic on the reservoir or at the environmental rehabilitation and for erosion control. Thus, the vetiver floating bed technology, which are in the pioneer approaches to the water treatment, purification, pumping, monitoring, testing, environment, energy, and nutrient recovery, and water plant designs. And our network with the Tamil Nadu State and the Development Policy lakes, which are in ongoing with the vetiver floating wetlands. Now, we can look upon the reservoir experiment undergone, which is using by the reservoir, which is conducted for a period of 4 weeks, spiking that the sand cultures with an 100 milligram per kilogram of chromium of lead, nickel, and zinc. Research which showed that the vetiver plants accumulated significantly higher than the concentration of the chromium and zinc compared to the other metals. Vetiver accumulated more chromium in the roots and more zinc onto the shoots. That thus the bioconcentration factor of 0.5 for the chromium into the roots and 0.75 for the zinc into the roots. And also, a quick mini reservoirs methodology has been standardized for screening the plants for remediation studies based on visualizing their root acidification behavior using the bromocresol couple and DPC and diphenyl carboxyl indicator. Vetiver root exudates, which are predominantly contains oxalic acid. However, in the presence of chromium, the exudates contain more of carbonic acid and fumaric acid, which was absorbed by the decolorization of the dye nearby the mesospheric region. Okay, now we are coming upon the lake restoration in TNAU Coimbatore, which are surrounded by 8 lakes scattering the water requirement of the city. They are interconnected, which plays a crucial role in restoring the groundwater and which are irrigating about 20,000 of acres of the agricultural lands. More than 60% of the sewage of the city enters the lakes and river channels, and our study revealed that all these urban lakes receive nutrient loads and are highly eutrophic. Instead of constructing a wetland, we float a vetiver floating wetlands on the surface of polishing pond where this vetiver grass which grows hydrophonically. Once the system is in, it requires a very few inputs and it runs by itself. Okay, this picture which represents the study location where the sampling was done, in which search of vetiver floating wetlands in the lakes and the physiochemical analysis of before and after treatment and continuous monitoring of basic physiochemical properties and harvesting of the vetiver roots, assessment of heavy metals and the pollutant uptake, and quantifying its removal efficiency and with the extraction of the efficiency of the vetiver floating wetlands in the restoration of the lakes. And then nearby image, which is shows about the vetiver floating wetlands, which are fabricated with the PVC pipes and a coil base, which are installed in the Sundamani lake, and the small vetiver pontoons of about 1 by 1 meter of fabricated vetiver plants in the August are maintained. The vetiver plants had a locked phase of 10 days and started to grow by in size. The establishment percentage was about 70 to 80% in the pontoons. Gap filling was done maintained in the recipe wherever is needed. The root establishment after the rains follows to the next stage, which can be established on a larger area with the different support matrices has been established now under different plastic fly sheets and the thick plastics in the sewage entry points for the treatment and also in the curriculum lakes also. Okay. After ascertaining the sewage entry points, in Silver Siddhamani Lake was chosen to study the different models of APA floating wetness and its application. The Silver Siddhamani Lake was mapped using a satellite imagery based on its area and other quantum. 24 geopoints were chosen and surface of water samples were collected. The water quality indices were studied and the pH of the lake which changes from about 6.57 to 8.48. EC which can be about 0.78 to 0.88 centimeter and DO was about 5.7 to 7 milligram per liter and BOD of about 72 to 143 milligram. And a square meter of floating wetland, which has the capacity to produce about 5 kg of nitrogen and 2 kg of phosphorus based on the nutrients per year. Vetiver floating wetlands installed in the Southern Lake is establishment percentage about 70 to 80%. And then the vetiver floats maintained in the sewage decreases from the BOD from 222 milligram per liter to 162 milligram per liter in a span of 10 months. The DO, which varied from 4.2 to 4.6 milligram per liter, and totally 50 phyto components in the root exterior of the control plant were identified by GCMS technique. Out of 50 compounds, and out of 50 compounds, 7 compounds such as oxalic acid, butylated hydroxytoluene, ascorbic acid, phthalic acid, and other 2,4 trimethyl pentaester, acetic acid, and oleic acid, propionic acid, which were identified. And after the 3 phytocomponents such as oxalic acid, oleic acid, and octadionic acid, and which are identified both in control as well as in sewage. Rate of reduction of micropollutant is the vector wetlands, which decreases with the TDS of TNAU from 8,500 to 5,300 milligram per liter. Vetiver floating wetlands established in TNAU SPP, which are in 74% of survival, and as well as the TNAU which has a 94% survival. Most importantly, the vetiver absorbs all the nitrates and phosphate. Vetiver is an amazing plant. It also absorbs certain heavy metals, which the bacteria like E. coli, the bacteria address them to root system, resulting in the E. coli to count as a zero. And the result what they got was very impressive. And then the outcome which we can be which is the vetiver floating wetlands, which were the cost effective, which are the cleaning up technology for the lakes, and which improves the water quality index and preventing also the eutrophication. Addition of which the economic value for the lakes, which improves the biodiversity of the lake system and which creates an sustainable food in the city, which also improves about the oxygen status of the lakes. And beyond the design, installation companies. Hello, sir.
Hello, we can still hear you. You're cutting in and out a little bit, but you're still hear you.
Okay, sir. And also, which beyond the design and the installation comprises and the construction of the simple floors or the pontoons, only a low level skills are needed to operate and maintain them. This which represents the welcome opportunity to cut cost and supports the local workers. Another major attribute is the vetiver grass treatment, which are easily scaled up as down as needed. And after all, the application of the vetiver floating wetness for the wastewater treatment, which is also an phytochemical technology and which has a high potential to meet all of our criteria. And thank you for the presentation. Thank you all.
Thank you. You managed to power your way through that presentation before any connectivity issues came into play, and so well done. And I just had this is an interesting area for me because it's an area of work that I enjoy. So I'm curious, once the plants have been able to perform their role in removing contaminants, are the plants then removed from the water system, or are they there as a permanent treatment?
No, sir. It can be harvested after that. They are retained at the mature stage.
Okay, they're harvested, and then what happens to the plant material?
Actually, yeah. After that, we will cut down the roots, and we can give it for the oil extraction. And we are currently discussing upon after with the sewage as well as with the control plant, what are the components of the heavy metals which are at presently in the absorbed by the root systems. After you can use it for extraction of the vetiver oil from the vetiver roots. It's a grown up hydroponically.
Okay, great. Okay, so I'm not sure, Ganana, are you still available? Are you still here? Is Ganana in here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, Ganana, did you want to try to take another run at completing your presentation? We have a few minutes.
Yes, sir.
And if you'd like to share your screen, hopefully the connectivity seems to be a little bit more stable at the moment.
Yes. Thank you, sir. And continuing on.
Continue from there. Yeah, if you'd like to just share the presentation mode, if you want to put into presentation mode.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
And as discussed previously, The results observed in laboratory scale were temporary, but however, when we sow seeds in the soil, the microplastics uh, could have longer term effects. That is, they can reduce germination. They could reduce germination to a maximum extent, and it has been reported in several other studies also. And the final outcome is that uh, the overall summary of our sorry, sir. The overall summary of our study is that due to accumulation of microplastic particles on the pores of seed coat, initially the seed germination uh, can be inhibited by the microplastics. And PCA analysis was conducted after 48 hours using all the parameters recorded, and it was observed that with increasing, there was size and dose dependent effect on germination. That is, when there is more of microplastics are present in soil, it could inhibit seed germination via mechanical uh, mechanically, that is by adhering to seed surface and blocking seeds from imbibing water. Thank you, sir. And with this, I would like to conclude my presentation. Thank you for. Yes.
Well, thank you for your patience with all the technical issues that arose. It took 3 tries, but we managed to get you to the end of your presentation, Gnana. And that brings us to the end of our presentations for today. I'd like to pass the hosting role back to Dr. Maragatam, and she can help summarize and maybe lead us through some quick question and answers.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Gordon Price. And to summarize the whole event, which undertook the second day under the environmental engineering sciences, totally there were 6 presentation was done. And though there was some interpretation, there was some lagging in the presentation by from TNAU side because of the internet problem. But even then, we could manage well within the time. And one such important outcome of the empirical approaches to estimate phosphorus in potato plants among using foliar spectrography that comes from Canada, Dalhousie, and they could establish a very correlation between the phosphorus and petioles and leaf spectrum through a model. It was well explained. And again, by the carbon stock assessment in biosolids amendment soil using the mid-infrared spectrographic technology that shows that the FTIR, diffusion refractive spectrography, is a very effective method in determining soil properties related to biosolids. And there was another presentation done by Jnana Karthikeyan. There was presentation was done 2 to 3 times because of the disturbance in the connectivity. And we could understand from that the effect of polyethylene microplast on the germination of the black gram was well established. And another presentation that was done by Mr. Karthikeyan from TNAU and Vetiver floating wetlands in wasteland treatment, and it was found that Vetivers has the best territory sewage treatment, which is very cost effective. And then there was a revolutionization of agriculture with a digital reform that was done by Ganesh and from India, and she could be able to say about the smart farming and the benefit of the drone spraying, which is highly revolutionizing nowadays in agriculture. And there was another presentation done by Ben Metab Lab towards the developing standardization of precision agriculture boom sprayer by integrating sensing and actualization of components. And this was also found to be very cost effective and eco-friendly, and it reduces the pesticide loads. So this is in just about all the presenters, and all the presentations are really good, and they could throw some of the highly scientific information to the forum. Thank you very much for the opportunity given. Any questions, anybody? We are here. The presenters are here to answer. Thank you, Gautam, for the nice opportunity given. Yes, no questions?
I'll jump in with a question if that's okay.
Please go ahead, sir. Please listen.
I'm curious. for Ms. Bambani, in terms of the drone technology in India, is the use of drone technology in India right now a cost-effective approach for spraying and reducing costs?
So right now government is working too much into this field, and currently we are focusing on drone facility. The government has started the Kisan drone scheme, which provides 5 lakh subsidy to the farmers and 50% cost of 5 lakh, whichever is the minimum among the two. Right now it's not that cost effective, but government is working hard and is targeting to digitalize Indian agriculture by 2025 by Digital Agriculture Mission.
I think I can supplement Kanishka in that area. So here in India, it is not very cost effective, as you rightly pointed out. But now people are renting the drones. If the people are coming in for 10 acres or 20 acres or in a community farming in a village, then renting is more cheaper, because we are going all those things because of our labor scarcity. So in that point, it is very effective if it is taken on higher basis. Otherwise, there are a lot of schemes or importance we are giving from the government side, as Kanishka rightly pointed out.
And what would be the primary targets for use of the drones? So what are the drones primarily being rented for? Is it acquisition of data, or is it for performing specific tasks?
So now,
spraying
okay,
of
please, Kanishka, go ahead.
Right now it's for spraying of insecticides and pesticides, as we know that they have toxic impact on humans. And also, since I had noticed it personally over here in Madhya Pradesh of India, that farmers are relentlessly using fertilizers and insecticides without the proper soil test. So with drones, proper efficient utilization of fertilizers and insecticides can be done. Along with it, the crop information can be obtained too, like the stage of crop, the number of plants, and the crop density, etc. Incidence of diseases and pathogens.
Great, thank you.
Any queries from other participants in the house?
I have a question. My name is Ahmad Al-Malahi. I'm assistant professor at Dalhousie University. I have a question to Reem because I see that there are promising results, and I wonder when or what is needed to turn these models into a tangible sensing technology, something that we actually can use and get instant or quick results to the farmers.
Such kind of model development, it needs to be tested over different growing seasons. It's not enough to do one growing season. This is one thing. And also to maximize the location of the field, so we cover as much as we can of the different climatic conditions and also the soil conditions once we develop the models. And also we need to test different machine learning models, algorithms, so we will be more confident about the results. I can say those are our target nowadays. Our target, even in my research, to go further into developing more robust models.
So if your models are robust in maybe 2, 3, 4 years from now, how do you envision the sensor is going to look like?
Yeah, based on this algorithm development, we must highlight the significant wave bands, and based on these significant wave bands, we can depends on the sunlight, and we can use this kind of sensors only when we have sunny days at specific climatic conditions, or it's the more expensive one. We can develop artificial light that gives those significant wave bands, and we can just make it as on-the-go sensor and use it in the field.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. The question will be, the session will be closing very shortly. I take this opportunity to thank every one of you who did a wonderful jobs and made this day with a scientific and professional informations loaded. Thanks a lot.
I'd like to echo Dr. Maragatham's words that it's been a pleasure and a privilege to hear your presentations today, and look forward to the many articles and manuscripts that you will publish from your research and share in the public domain. Best of luck with your research programs.